Hello and welcome to ScreenHour with me, Mikey.
And me, Kieran.
Where we discuss the latest releases of films, series and games regarding our own impressions and experiences. We warn you before deep dive into spoilers. And this week we're going to be covering Modern Warfare 2, the 2022 version, the reboot. We have a very special guest, Mr. Quinn Parry, Kieran's brother, you may have guessed.
Hello, hello. Hello.
We chose to cover it for a few reasons, and we've asked Quinn on as well because he knows his stuff about the old games, but also he's not too many spoilers, but I think he's enjoyed it. But one of the other main reasons is we spoke about it just before Christmas, and I remember every year, especially my cousin, and I'd get COD as a Christmas present. It'll be like, oh, this year I've had this. I can have the no Call of Duty. Because it is just, since we've been kids, it comes out in the November, and then it has just every year. I don't even know. COD has been going for over 20 years now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I don't know if they might have missed a year or what, I'm not sure, but it seems to be pretty much, every year. But I know growing up, Quinn played Call of Duty more than I did. I think it was Call of Duty 4 was the first one, because our cousin used to play it, and I remember we were around at his, and we saw him playing it, and then Quinn kept begging Mum and Dad for Christmas to get it.
Yeah, the first one I proper played, that was Call of Duty World at War, like COD 5. That was the first one I proper played, and that was, I absolutely loved it. And then after that, that was when I got into COD 4. Then COD 6 came out, which was Modern Warfare 2, the original one, which was insane. That was probably the most I've ever played COD at once.
And this is what I mean. There's quite a few moments in life which make you feel old. The very fact that they rebooted a game, this is like the sequel of the reboots, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
I remember, similar to you, COD 4, because it was great. And it was the one we really launched the multiplayer to the point I remember everyone at school talking about it. And that's where I sorted the multiplayer out from a 360.
Yeah.
I asked my dad to help me set it up because I was like, I don't have to say about it. I feel like I was start getting bullied because I was the only person not playing it. Year 7 not playing Call of Duty 4.
Legit though, yeah.
It's got the history of COD, and we're not going to do a rundown of all of it, but it feels like we say, is if you was a boy our age and you semi into gaming, you've at least played a couple.
I feel like the most important ones are COD 4, COD 5, COD 6, and COD 7.
That was Black Ops, wasn't it, COD 7?
Yeah, Black Ops where you got Reznov.
Yeah, that was the campaign for that was really good.
Yeah, I feel like that, the numbers, Mason. What do the numbers mean? Right, to me, that's the last one of that sort of generation. I don't know.
Yeah. Because Reznov, I can't even remember that campaign. Reznov didn't appear after that, did he?
He was in World at War, weren't he, before?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. He was one of the main protagonists in World at War.
The history of CODs, and we talked about the campaign. Some of them a couple of years ago didn't even have a campaign.
No.
It's just a campaign, spoilers, but we'll give you a good, as usual, we give you flags up before that. It is a really good game, but I feel like it hasn't reinvented the wheel for COD, but it just feels so smooth. It feels nostalgic, but it feels smoother than ever.
Yeah. It's better. I'm on PC, you guys are on PS5, but for me, let's be honest, PC is a bit more smooth. But I'm jumping around corners like a mad lad, spraying. I've showed you guys a couple of clips and stuff like that. And it is a lot smoother on PC, but even so, I feel like COD has always been quite decent in terms of smoothness and what's the word, making the game quite, what's the word?
Intuitive,
Yeah, it all kind of works. You have little bugs in here and there, but it's not as bad as most games. Optimized. Yeah, optimized. That's the word. Yeah, it's quite well optimized. You get hackers and stuff, like every game. But it's still well optimized as a game. You can jump around, flip and do random stuff, and it works, which is good considering most games nowadays are just broke.
Yeah, I do think Call of Duty as a whole has gotten a lot more smooth. Its movement. For me, the most smooth gameplay jumping around, sliding, wall jumping, Apex Legends, Titanfall, that's like the peak. I feel like Call of Duty, especially this one, it feels a lot closer to that sort of smoothness of play. Because normally it's felt a little clunky, trying to climb, trying to slide. Like, when you do a jump and then into a slide, it's a bit clunky. But this game in particular definitely feels a lot smoother than any previous titles of COD.
I say the only thing about this whole smoothness and stuff, I mean about the whole jumping around corners and spraying, but that's, to be honest, that's probably one of the worst mechanics in the game, is that you can do that, because Modern Warfare, you wouldn't just sprint and jump around a corner and tap the guy in the head, because you'd be dead.
Well, it's very arcadey, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a game, isn't it? Like, it's obviously, like, being a bit of a meme of itself, but, like, yeah, it's
a double-edged sword, like.
Yeah, it's, like, not realistic at all. Like, no one would do that.
Yeah, I think this COD in particular, I like what they've done campaign-wise. Like, I like how they didn't just do, colour by numbers as exactly the same as the original Modern Warfare 2, right? It's not exactly the same. They've changed it up. There's the same sort of character names drops here and there, but it's a different story and it's leading in a different way. But you're still waiting for certain people to turn or whatever, because you know of the original trilogy, as it were. So it's nice, but then also like the motion capture of the actors for the cinematics and that stuff is incredible. It looks so good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I feel like they've done really well in the campaign?
What's that?
Is that I feel like they've wrote a good story, but on top of that is, I remember when we was younger, like, don't get wrong, there was cool, like, stuff going on, and like, they tried to put, like, it was like Forrest Gump, like, in a way, they tried to put in, like cheesing and shoe on historical moments and stuff. Where in this, like, because it was Modern Warfare, they can't really do that, but what they have done is good little, like, not gimmicks, because that makes it sound like a bad thing, but like good set pieces, and like you were doing stuff for certain missions. So like, without getting into spoilers at all, which we will do like soon, there's a bit where like you go from having loads of weapons, and then all of a sudden you're on your ass. You're like,
yeah,
and you've got to go through the entire mission making do. Like, it was almost turned into a bit of a like survival game.
Yeah,
which none of the CODs of, like, as far as the COD campaigns I've played, haven't done. And the one which like really highlighted to me, and I played it on hardened, and to be fair, I died a lot on this mission, but I still really enjoyed it. And it feels like Uncharted 4 when you've got like the race across Africa, but it felt really weird and in a really good way.
Yeah,
you're like shooting other convoys in like cars to try and get on them, and you're jumping across them and then taking them over and doing whatever, and you've just got to get to the front of the convoy, and you're driving a car, jumping on, shooting it.
It platforming, yeah.
It was like a bit of platforming on a Call of Duty game, which felt like you'd be like, this is out of place, but it felt smooth. And the ghillie suit mission was like, again, like as you say, it's iconic from the original COD 4, but that had a bit of a twist on it. Each mission felt something a bit different. Like,
it was very enjoyable. Like, that's like the basics takeaway. It's very enjoyable. There's not one mission where you're like, oh, that was crap, I didn't enjoy doing that. Or that, to be fair, I never enjoyed doing like the AC-130 missions. I just feel like that's, the pacing completely changes there compared to just, like sneaking around, running around, shooting and stuff. Like the AC-130, I always feel like I'm trapped. You know what I mean? Because I'm just stuck shooting down.
I'd say, to be honest, like, I mean, I love the campaign. I think the two gripes for me on the campaign were just, like, the stealth in COD has always been awful. Like, you're in a stealthy position, no one can see you, and out of nowhere they just go, oh, he's there. And you're like, huh? No, I'm not. You're like, and then you're having to fight people that have no idea where you are. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And like, and then the other one was, I like the ghillie mission, the stealth mission where you've got to, shoot people and all that stuff. But for me, it was so slow. And then you're having to wait for the dialogue to catch up with what you're doing. And then I'm already there waiting 20 seconds for this dude to catch up with me. And I'm like, oh my God, hurry up. Like it sometimes got a bit stagnant in that regard. But
I totally understand and agree with you. But there was a bit in that mission where I was shooting the guys, like determining like the distance and stuff. I think what would have been good if they added wind in, so you have to compensate for the wind as well, direction of wind. That would have been quite cool. But there was a moment where the enemy combatants drive up in a vehicle, right, and I just hide in a bush, right, so you can like just kill them all, right, and then they like you just carry on with the mission. But I was like, no, I want to see if I can actually be stealthy and just like hide and maybe crawl past them as they try and patrol, right? And I did that, and that literally took about 15 minutes.
yeah, I did the exact same thing. I sat there in the thingy, sat there, no one saw me, and I sat there for about 15 minutes. Every time I stood up, they were there, and I was like, oh my God, move on.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, like, come on, like, go home, come on. But I quite liked it. Like, gaming perspective, it was a bit crap, but as realism perspective, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, because you would be sitting there for a bit. You wouldn't be, you're not a gamer. You're like, oh, come on, hurry up, walk away.
What makes me laugh about that is how, in typical Mikey fashion and in like the history of the podcast, and Kieran takes a piss out of this, is that like, I just haven't got the patience for that.
Really?
Why haven't like?
Yeah, Mikey, right then.
Yeah.
You're a sniper.
I'd mess up like one shot because I couldn't do with a drop.
Yeah.
And then they'd all kick off with me. And like with typical cards in a lot of games, you'd learn their patterns. So Kieran mentioned about they like little patrol coming out of the vehicle. They'd end up seeing me or whatever. So I'd just cook a grenade, take 3 of them out with 1 grenade, shoot the 2 out with a collateral head, and just go like that.
Mikey completed the campaign in 10 minutes.
What I did like and didn't like in that mission in particular is there's a lot of ways to approach it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it spoon feeds them you too quickly. So price just tells you where I would have been more rewarded from me, like just not exploring because it's not a huge like sandbox mission, like, but so you can throw the tear gas in, can't you? And it's like, oh, throw the tear gas in, they'll run out like rats. I'll get them there. And you're like, yeah, well, I would have liked to discover that myself.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I actually 100% agree with you. But it is like, yeah, that's the other thing. Is like, I like the missions. I think they're well done, but they're very much like, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this. Like, it's a little quite guided. And like those little things, yeah, like I agree with the whole tear gas. So it literally says, yeah, they'll run out like rats. And you're like, oh, well, that makes it a bit easy, doesn't it? Like, it just kind of, it takes away from the kind of stealth. Yeah, you get on top of the building and you start sniping down at them. It's like, oh, just throw a tear gas in and then they'll die. But it's just a bit, oh, all right.
Yeah, it would have been cool if you'd have like gone up to the air vent and then realised, wait, I can interact with this air vent, and then it says like, throw tear gas in. You're like, whoa, what would happen if I do this? Yeah. And then you find out, oh shit, that was cool. Because I think that's, you can do things like that in Deathloop. Yeah, you just like try things out and then you just die, rinse, repeat, and you're constantly trying different things out. And that's just very interesting. Quinn, you haven't played Deathloop, but it's basically Dishonored.
I think I've seen Deathloop, but yeah, I haven't played it.
Yeah, it might be one that comes to PC at some point because there's a lot of PlayStation games that come into PC lately.
Ooh.
What we'll say in general is, like in typical fashion, it's an expensive game like everything is nowadays. But if you like it, like you like FPS in general, you played another card, it is just, there's a lot to do in the sense that the campaign doesn't last forever, but it doesn't like outstay its welcome either. I feel like the campaign's a good length. You could probably do it like, well, to be fair, I think like Kieran told me you completed a weekend quit, but you could probably do it like in like literally 2 nights.
Yeah.
And you feel like it's now got fatigue from it, like, and we said it's got variety, but considering all the game modes which are on there, and I don't know if like this is a big positive really, but you suppose you can't really keep it as a review. You got to do it separately because it's free. The way Warzone is incorporated into it is like really good. So many modes now, like back in our day when we were back in our day, it was just deathmatch, search and destroy, domination, like
Yeah.
And zombies.
and zombies, yeah.
Yeah.
But now there's everything under the sun.
Yeah, I remember I remember in COD 6, me and my friends back in the day on Xbox 360 Live, we used to go on Favela, or I can't even remember the other maps. I definitely remember Favela, and we do Mike Myers, and we just do that for hours. And then they made it like Infected, is it? They made Infected, a game mode, which is basically Mike Myers. And it was just like, it's funny, like everyone just did that in private lobbies, and then now it's actually become a game mode kind of thing.
Yeah, it's nice how like they've looked at the community and like made it themselves.
Yeah. But Quinn, you also love Search and Destroy, and I hate it.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I played Counter-Strike for quite a while, like 5 years, got like 5k hours.
Well, you've technically played it professionally.
Yeah, technically, yeah. I did do a few tournaments. Yeah, like a few mini tournaments, which was pretty mad. Didn't win, but, well, technically professionally. I never got paid, so technically not. But I was in professional tournaments, but I never actually got paid for any of them. But yeah, and it's basically Search and Destroy. Counter-Strike is, you know, you got one life, you got to plant the bomb or defend it. And that's why I love Search and Destroy. I just like that one life you get. Whereas Team Deathmatch, I mean, I enjoy Team Deathmatch, you know, it's running and gunning. But I don't like the running gunning style. I like the kind of patient, you chill, you got to hit your shots when you have to, otherwise you're dead. And like, yeah, that's what I kind of prefer, that kind of style. But a lot of people do like Team Deathmatch nowadays.
Well, I think that's to its strength, is that, you know, I saw a meme that it was some guy raging, it's some plumber working 9 to 5 in his 30s, coming home wanting to like just play a few games of COD while his baby's in bed or something. And it's just him raging because some 15-year-old who plays it every day for 5 hours batters it. But like, as you say, it's got, you can jump on there, have a few games of Team Deathmatch, you get money, just refresh or whatever, but you've also got Search and Destroy. It's, you know, different approach for different folks per se with the game mode.
You're so right. Like, I remember being that like 12, 14-year-old kid that was destroying the adults, I think, and making everyone rage and being just a toxic little kid, you know, saying that you do their mom whenever, all of that kind of stuff. Like, it's quite funny to look back on it. We all did it, but then now I'm 24, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, I play games and I'm now that guy that gets angry at the little kids that are beating me because they just have all day. And like in your head, you're like, they've got all day. I'm there, I do work, and I've got to come back, I've got to put the dinner on, I've got to clean the house. I've got 1 hour and I'm getting destroyed by a 12-year-old. And it's just like, it's so annoying.
Where's my skill-based matchmaking?
Yeah, literally. Like, these 12-year-olds are so good at the game because they just don't do anything. They absolutely, all they do is play that game all day. And they're so good at it.
And as you're saying, you think to yourself, like, we don't want to become very gross. There's too much old men disclosed. None of us being like, even 45 or whatever. Oh, that's old. But what we said is like, you think to yourself, oh, I've got an hour. I've only got an hour and I just want to do well. I just want to have a good time. I don't know. Sometimes you end up getting wrecked, but, you know, every now and again you find the lobby when you absolutely smash it.
Yeah. But that's why I struggle with Search and Destroy, to be honest, because you got such limited time to play. You know, oh yeah, it's one life, you know, you got to like be precious with your life and all that. But I'm here to have fun. I'm here to play a game. I don't want to wait around. You know, like, oh, I die. Oh, great. Now I've got to sit around and wait for 8 minutes before I can jump back in again.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like, and the maps on this new game, they're alright. Is that just me? They're alright.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I remember, but again, I don't know if this is rose-tinted glasses nostalgia.
Yeah.
But like again, like you say, when you're a kid, you know, there's like, you have a lot more time to put into it. Well, I can recall Overgrown on COD 4.
Oh my god, that massive ass map. Yeah.
Like Crossfire, I think that was another good one. And then there's a few Black Ops maps I can remember. But despite me playing the online quite a bit on this, no real map, like, I don't know, stands out to me. In like, this is not in a bad way or a good way, like, but like, they're not badly designed, but as you say, they're just good, like, they're alright.
Yeah. The one I hate is that one with the big warehouse in the middle where all the sweats use the shotguns and just jump around corners. And then you've got these dumb buildings on the outside, and it was rehashed from the last COD that came out. Do you know which one I'm on about?
Is the warehouse in the middle kind of like a shooting floor for practicing?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know the map you mean.
I hate that map. I think that's the worst map. It's just an absolute mess. It's just everyone spawns everywhere. Well, to be fair, this is always COD.
Well, that's the problem with COD is spawning. You always spawn die.
Yeah.
I'm about 2 foot in front of everybody. Like,
But the spawns are everywhere, and I know they're random, but like they should be. You kill people, they spawn on the opposite side of the map. You kill people, but it doesn't work that way. You get spawned sometimes right behind them, then in front of them, then to the side of them, and it's like, bro, in your map, you're having to look at your map 24/7, thinking, okay, there's a red dot there, now there's a red dot there. I've killed that one. Now there's one behind me, and there's one in front of me. It's like, oh my god, stress.
Yeah, and then there's always, like, at the moment, it's the sniper meta because it's just one shot. So they remove all scopes, and they just run, jump round a corner, and run, jump round a corner.
Honestly, anyone that has that sniper with iron sights is wet. They are so wet. Like, they legit go home and they just absolutely sweat off that gun. Like, I hate them, absolutely hate them. And it's always that stupid person sitting on the side of a wall with they're mounted on the wall,
Yeah, mounted.
and then you jump around the corner and they go boom, one shot, they've just clipped your toenail and you're dead. And it's like, and they've got about 1,000 kills with that gun. That's all they use. And it's like, you're sad. Like, if you're gonna quick scope like we used to back in the old days, get a scope on it.
do it 360 as well. Don't count. I should do it.
Yeah, legit. Like, if you don't have I was doing that. I had the standard scope on a sniper, and I was just quick scoping.
You mean the intervention?
Yeah. Oh, the intervention on COD 6 was sick. That was the gun.
I'll tell you what's quite a decisive map. I say decisive because depending on what type of mood I am, and if it's working in my favour, I love it. If it's not working in my favour, and if I've got like narcissistic traits, I hate it. It's like, oh shit, a shit map. The one where it's like the border, and like the border's like closed down. It's like a freeway full of cars.
The car, yeah, I hate that one.
And then like the maps either way, you got like not alleys but walkways you can go down.
Yeah.
And like all it's doing, and the reason again I say it's decisive is because like I do this myself. So like, in the great words of Star Wars, I've become what I swore to destroy. Just cut grenades and throw them at the cars and see how many people you can get just by blowing up the cars.
Remember that clip you sent me of that one guy? And all he does, he keeps spawning next to a blowing up vehicle. And he just gets ragdolled across the map.
So like, yeah, when he's working towards my favour, I love that map. But when I'm spawning, I'm just getting blown up by a fucking hatchback. Like,
Hatchback.
that's it.
Killed by the polo.
Killed by the Volkswagen.
I tell you what, the most fun I've had though playing this game is with the riot shield.
Yeah.
I have so much fun with that riot shield because all I do is just piss other players off. I just run around, I smack them in the back, and I just run away.
It's such a troll.
I'll tell you what, the mode we have had fun playing, and it's quite a good map. We had quite a few good sessions playing this mode where you've got to get the cash. Your team's got to get the cash, but you got one life. So your team, and it's only on for like, it's like a minute 30, like 90 seconds or something. And like, you can kill the entire other team, or your team's got to hold the cash and win. And I played that with you, Kieran, when you had the right shield, it was jokes. It's not Formula, like you had, Kieran probably especially loves this one. Formula 1, that? That's quite good. I think the way that's done is quite like, I don't know, there's not that many checkpoints, but also there's not that many places to camp, but it's not like too big and open. That's quite good, man.
That, to be fair, that is probably one of the better design maps. I won't lie.
And that mode, like, it's like a lovely in-between happy medium of search and destroy and team deathmatch.
Yeah.
Because you can revive each other as well. But you can, like, you don't want to go 2 balls to the wall, because, like I say, you got one life after you've, like, if you get killed, like, clipped when you're on second chance.
Yeah.
What I've really, since I've been completed the campaign, I've played a bit of online, like just classic multiplayer. But I've been loving played a bit of Warzone, but this DMZ mode is so much fun. So varied.
Yeah, it's called an extraction shooter game mode. It is like how most people refer to it.
Yeah. That's the one mode I haven't played, so I've played COD in probably about 2 months, probably. No, probably, yeah, probably 2 months.
You're not meant to say that on the podcast we're doing about it.
played it last night. No, but this despite us taking the P now about that, me and Kieran this afternoon did play the DMZ mode, and despite us being like, me like free one of the matches to be fair, because he's all in there playing and just. I was like, oh, well, if you could jump out, just get ditched even though we're in the same squad and spawn as you can. If I jumped out the plane as the helicopter, Kieran was in it, and like Kieran just leaves the game while I'm still in it. I was like, oh, is it?
Yeah. We're being extracted, and Mikey's like, oh, I wonder if I could just parachute out and see if it'll just still load me out of the game.
Yeah.
And then I obviously reach the exfil loading screen or whatever, and it's giving me all my tally of my stuff I did. And then it's like and then it was like spectating Mikey, and I was like, wait, what? And I was like, Mikey's still in the game, and then he gets absolutely rolled.
Oh no.
Obviously, it's still a smooth FPS. It's not like, it doesn't turn into a fighting game for God's sake or an adventure game. But the way you have to do, you can do so many objectives. You can load that like extraction mode in and think to yourself, you actually can set yourself certain objectives, but you can play it in a totally different way. You can be like, I want to go get loads of money for this in this round, or I want to go get this certain loot, or apparently you can get the gun which is on the season pass by killing a mini boss, and then you just extract with it. So yeah, it's fun to play. They end up doing weird stuff. As in, me and Kieran didn't. I don't think we only extracted once, but the AI was hard on it as well, and that's what makes it fun.
I think when me and Kieran played some co-op games, we did what was it called? It's the one where you've got to grab the intel.
Yeah, there's four different co-op missions, and there's one where you got to defend like a load of different bases. But you're like on one big map, but you have to defend different places as you get sent waves of enemies at you. There's then like a nighttime ops where you got to find the plutonium. There's then one where you have to push forward to the checkpoints and destroy the SAM site. And then there's another one that me and Mikey played the other night, but I can't remember what that one was. Oh, when Mikey's in a helicopter. Well, it depends. One's in a helicopter and one's on the ground, and you got to push forward. And what were we getting? Hard drives or something?
Again, like, you hope you've got a lot of, I don't know, bang for your buck, because it's a big book. It's like £70 on PS5. I don't know, was it on Steam, Quinn? Is that how much?
I got it on Battle.net. I think I got it's £65 or £60.
Yeah, so it's still spread even on good old PC Master Race, but so you expect a bit of flexibility. And with the special ops, like, there's only 4 or 5 missions, but there's quite a lot of replayability there, because you want to, like, I jokingly says with Key when I played the first one with you, and it said, member in your party done it in like 4 minutes or so. You done it in 10 minutes with you two did. And we're in here, I'm just fucking about enjoying it. And it took us about 25 minutes, nearly half hour.
I said that's the one thing, like, because we mentioned when we were doing the night, like the night vision mission of the co-op, is I tried to shoot out a light, and I was like, oh, the light didn't go out, and you were like, oh, this is a game like this, and I was like, yeah, Splinter Cell, and me and Quinn used to rinse that game all the time, didn't we?
All the time, yeah, all the time. I mean, literally, we'd go on a mission, you'd be Archer, I'd be Kestrel, and we'd literally jump in and we'd play like every single mission constantly.
Every day after school.
Yeah, every single day.
Yeah, we absolutely loved it, and I miss those games, because we don't have those games anymore.
No.
There's no true, like, proper, like, there's more so on PC, I think, but for consoles and stuff, there's no just pure co-op game modes where there's like a nice progression system where it's just against AI, it's not against other players, and you've got that sort of like, such a Splinter Cell, and as an example, you could go through, you could shoot out the lights, you can be sneaky, do takedowns and stuff, we used to have so much fun playing that game, right? And you can't do that anymore. Like, even split screen is so rare these days.
Yeah, legit, split screen practically non-existent. Like, me and Iona try and split screen occasionally, like games, And like they're literally the only ones we can get is literally, what's it called? That cooking game. What's it called?
Is it Overcooked?
Overcooked. Yeah, Overcooked. That game is probably the only one we can play. We want to play Fall Guys because it's just kind of funny, and just can't. Like, it's not split screen, even though it's like one of the biggest games. Well, was. It's just split screen isn't there anymore, really.
Yeah.
I think, like you say, not to come back to like, a more like depiction on a very loose term on social commentary, but when you think to yourself, you've only got a couple of, like an hour to play and you really want to have fun, you want to have it more of a casual setting. So having a PvE game and you're just having a laugh with your friend and it's more of a social thing, more of a like just having a catch up and like also like communicating but having a laugh.
Yeah.
You get that with PvE games. And also, as you say, like, the couch co-op's really gone. Like, games need to pull away from the old microtransaction system.
Well, I mean, we've already spent 65, 70 quid on the game, so... Oh, mate, we could probably rant about microtransactions all day. Like, in COD, you get a battle pass. I mean, in Apex, it's all cosmetic. Cool.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's not pay to win to some extent. Well, actually, there is no real pay to win because it's cosmetic. But
yeah, it's all cosmetic.
But it's like in COD, it is all cosmetic. There's no pay to win, but it's still the most, like, why is this in a game I'm paying 60 quid for? Like, that's so much money for just one singular game, and that's each person is paying 60 quid. They're making millions.
You think to yourself, well then, you think, that Ghost skin's pretty cool. Ghost is the most badass, like,
Yeah.
Shoot me if you think Proles is the most badass character on the story. I think it's Ghost.
Yeah.
But you think, that Ghost skin's cool. I wonder what objectives got to work towards to get that. Wonder what like challenges have got.
Yeah.
Cool. It's called 80 quid. That's what it's called.
Charlie's you'd get a fucking job.
So true.
The challenge is you're not having a takeaway. You're not going out for a few meals with your partner or whatever because you're paying 80 quid.
That is so true. It used to be when I was in COD 6, and I loved COD 6. Good old Modern Warfare 2. I grinded, and I got it was Tiger, that was the highest one you can get. It was the highest, like, headshot. You have to get, I think, like 300 headshots or something. We want that gun to get it. And I grinded my ass off to get that Tiger. And you get Red Tiger, and then you got, it was Fallen Tiger, I think. It was Full Tiger. Or what? So it was something that was like orange and green or something like that. It was like after Red Tiger, and it was so prestigious. And when someone saw you with it, they're like, "Oh, that guy, I want to be him.
That guy's got the biggest dick going."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you used to be like.
Yeah. No, it's always paid for it. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Mom's credit card.
Yeah. But now, the gunsmith thing, I don't know how I feel about when you level up your gun like that.
Oh, it's a bit like,
It's a bit janky.
it's a bit wet, isn't it? It's a bit jankier, like, as you say. Like, it's like you look at it and you're like, okay, I need to get this many kills, and then you get that many kills, and actually you look back and, oh, no, you meant to get suppressed, counter-suppressed, on the prone, up in the sky, looking down with an AC-130 on you. That's what you're going to do. You're going to get 15 of those kills. You're like, what does that mean? How do I get that? That makes no sense. Like, is it?
Well, it's like, I wanted the MP5, which is, they call it like a Lakshman something or other.
Yeah.
But the MP5, right? But there's an MP5 that's also an assault rifle and a battle rifle. But you need to use you need to get like you need to get to level 10, I think, with the battle rifle to unlock the assault rifle. Then with the assault rifle, you got to get to a level 10 to then unlock the MP5. Right? And it's just like a long-winded bullshit route round. I mean, I did it because I wanted the MP5. But it's so like, ugh.
Yeah, I use the starter M4, and I've used that, and I'm like level 50 or something. Never used anything else.
I've been using the P90 or the PDW.
Yeah.
That's a good laugh. Because again, that's probably because of nostalgia, because I used to have the P90 on the COD 4. But it is quite convoluted. It's weird because I don't even know, like, yeah, you can argue that I should just look up how to do it. But I know I'm just like, I'm dinging through the weapon levels and then getting, like, you go to gunsmith and attachments. But it feels like you've got to get 100 kills when there's a blood mirror and you've got to sacrifice a virgin while the kettle's brewing.
Yeah.
And you've got to wait for your dad to say he's proud of you, which happens every, like, 2 years.
Or you can pay 10 quid.
Or you can play that, or you can play things. You got it. Yeah, it just feels convoluted. Like
It does, like, the whole menu itself is very, like, janky. There's so many different, like, press X, R1, circle, triangle, X in order to start playing this game mode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's, like, so many menus and sub-menus. Like, just trying to invite someone, you've got to, like, go through so many different menus. Whereas, like, we keep coming back to Apex, but Apex is so streamlined, I feel, that literally you want to invite someone, you press that big old plus, right, and then send them an invite. It's as simple as that. You want to choose a game mode, you just click on the box for game modes, select from the list, and boom, you're straight in.
I like there's 4 buttons to press to invite someone.
Yeah.
Before we get into juicy spoilers, we'd like to take a moment to thank you for listening to us and to help us further our aspirations. We would further appreciate it. And if you would like to subscribe to us, follow us and join your preferred platforms, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Anchor and Instagram with our handle, The ScreenHour. And if you'd like to participate in an episode, leave your thoughts on what you'd like to see us cover next. That'd be ideal. Now time for spoilers. You have been warned. They're coming up. Graves always felt like he was going to turn heels to me.
Well, interestingly, the guy that plays Graves, the guy that does the mocap for him, right, I've seen him in a lot of shows, and he always plays like a bad guy. Yeah. So I saw him and I was like, he's going to do a heel turn.
The only one, like I say, I quite enjoyed all the missions and enjoyed the variety one. Especially on Hardened, the alone mission is fucking gnarly. Again, like I said, just Ghost is the most badass character.
Yes, yeah.
There's also, everyone's quite likeable on it as well.
To be fair, yeah, even Graves, to be honest, I quite like his character, even though he's an arsehole.
Even though he can be a cock, like, yeah, you quite like him. I say this for, is it Alejandro? The head of the Mexican army?
Yeah, Alejandro.
His call, I quite enjoyed, like, liberating him, like breaking into the prison in that mission.
Yeah, that was cool.
I really like Valeria.
Oh, the like, drug cartel head.
Yeah. I thought she was a real nice addition.
I thought she was a badass, yeah. I thought that bit, I don't know how you guys done this, but do you know where his Arando's like, tell the truth? And I thought to myself, me being me, I just wanted to test the game, and also I thought, fuck it, I ain't no snitch. I lied.
She just shoots you straight away.
Yeah, she just shoots you straight away. It's like, you fuck you know?
Because I actually tried to do that mission, like, really quiet, because I was like, I want to, like, steep the intel, get out, and, like, no one's the wiser, right? And I went to go kill the first guy. Obviously, you don't have a weapon or anything. And I killed the one guy, and then turned around, and there's just an enemy looking at me. Just sort of like, what are you doing? You're just like, it's not what it looks like.
I did it I had to repeat it so many times because I was like, I want to do it stealth. So I'd just purposely kill myself whenever they saw me. And so I'd get to that bit and I'd be throwing a knife at a dude. And like the throwing knife, you have to aim it slightly below because it goes above the head. So you have to aim it slightly below the area where you're actually aiming. And then it hits them in the head or wherever you're going to aim. And I kept doing that. And I'd be insane. I'd be dodging, throwing cans, making, spooking people. And I was like, oh yeah, great. It took me about 5-10 minutes to get to the spot where I'm going to kill the first boss, or like the mini boss. And then I threw this one. It just went straight over the dude's head. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, make the aiming like work. It's so annoying. And then like when Mikey, you said about earlier about them giving you tidbits and kind of telling you what to do. And Alejandro, as you're going up the elevator to start that little mission, he goes, remember, tell them the truth. Otherwise you'll be killed. Or something like that. And then as soon as I was in that interrogation, I went, oh, I'll tell the truth, otherwise they'll kill me in it. So I just told the truth. And then they didn't kill me, and I was like, oh, I kind of wish I'd just figured it out myself. Yeah, I agree. And died a couple of times before I did it right. I went, they wanted me to tell the truth.
I thought, fuck this, I'm going loud now. Can't be asked. But that's another thing, considering, they sound quite biased because they are because you play soap on that mission.
Yeah.
And you're weird, like the SAS, but you can say this about any special forces. It does, like Kieran says, there's a bit in it when you try to take him out on a weapon. This goes for the alone mission as well. And to be fair, the alone mission, you are injured, so it makes more sense. But you're telling me this 5 minute brutal guy who's in the top of the armed forces, knows his stuff, just cannot sneak up on someone and put him in a sleeper hold or just like choke him out in a stealth way. In that Valeria combat mission, I'm pretty sure it just says he just punches him. Like,
Yeah.
If I'm not got a stealth move I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on that alone mission, you had to use salvage stuff in order to kill people or hurt them. And I was like, but you're a trained SAS, as you say, like trained SAS. You can kill anyone with anything, your hands, your teeth, And he's like, no. I have to have a shiv.
I needed. You're like, you don't, do you? You probably know half a dozen martial arts, or if you don't, you probably nails anyway. You're like, I don't know.
Could have a shiv, mate. Could have a shiv.
I mean, that mission in particular, I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really liked it, or I don't know if I really hated it. I'm like right in that middle spectrum of like, it was an interesting new take, but I did dislike it. Endgame.
Which one was Endgame?
When you're in the high rise, and you've got to like run around and kill them with like the microwave bombs or whatever.
Yeah, that was just funny. That was.
So what it's worth, I know exactly what you mean, because what really got me with that is the mission before that, you have to kill Graves in the tank, and that's quite epic, and that was hard, especially on Spoilers Harden. I have to run around like just sweating my tits off trying not to get blammed by that tank and like the armored people. He goes to quite a big, not set piece, but quite a high action. And then you're doing the rappelling, and that's quite cool. You're killing people in the hallway, so this is pretty cool. It just goes from, I've lost my gun now I'm fucked. And you're running around like it's Home Alone.
I think it's Home Alone.
It's just funny enough, Kieran, you said about the microwaves, and you're like, fair enough. That's probably what you got to do. I changed it. What I did is I made a pry tool. I was looking up for one of the places I pried out with a toolbox, had a pistol in it. Camped in a bog. I just let people come to me, because there's only like 3 or 4 baddies.
Yeah.
I camped around this corner in one of the toilets. They came through to me. I just got headshots. And because only one at a time came through. If I didn't get a headshot, I shot them in the legs so they went down. Then I got a headshot. Done that then. And then it was like, only shown to his leg. But disarming the bomb was like, again, like you say, Kieran, it was interesting. I don't know if I liked it or disliked it. So it was different, like spice up your life, as the Spice Girls say. But it was like, it just felt a bit random, but out of nowhere. It was like, here's something you've got to do, which it last minute of the game, you haven't really been done before on it. So it's a bit panicky. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like they were like, all right, you have to be Rambo now. Like, why? Like, and like when you kill one of the guards, I was like sneaking around, opening things, and then I would knock one of them out, and then they get back up again, and then I'd stabbed one and killed one of them with one of the shivs I made, and I was like, yes, I can get their gun now. No, you can't. Doesn't let you. It's like, you can't have their gun.
Yeah, their gun just disappear.
Yeah. And you're like,
shot me with it. I know it's there. Why can't I have it?
Yeah. But if you open the right box, you can get a gun. What? Just give me theirs. It's on them. I can see it. It's like, no.
Well, why can't I use the pry tool to slice their neck?
Yeah, no. It's a pry tool.
It's a sharp piece of metal. You can only use it to pry tool. You can't use it to stab their neck and sneak up on it.
Yeah, it's a pry tool.
Otherwise, it'd be called a shiv.
You got to get another piece of metal for that. How long did it take you guys to complete that bit?
Oh, like 20 minutes. I was like running around, being shot at. I had to hide a little bit, wait for them to walk past, and then I'd have to run back out again and try and open something, and then I'll be shot at. And because I was on hardened like you were, it like you get shot about 5 times and you're like, oh, I'm dead.
Well, interestingly, that bit I did like a good sort of 2-hour session, and I got to that bit. Part of me was like, well, this isn't going to be the final mission, because in the final mission, surely I'm going to have like a weapon, it's going to be like a big sort of set piece thing. So I thought, I'll come off and I'll play the rest tomorrow night. So I came off, I went back on, right, and literally completed it in 5 minutes, and I was like, that's the end game.
Well, I absolutely fucked it for Kieran. I remember him messaging me a bit, and I was like, oh, I've completed it. And then Kieran was like, oh, I'm at the high-rise bit. I went, oh, oh, no, you didn't. You went, oh, yeah, I can't remember what you said. You said something which made me think, oh, Kieran's completed it as well. I went, oh yeah, it's mad when he dies, isn't it? And then Kieran was like, what? And I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Literally, you didn't even hesitate. You just full spoiled it. You didn't even double check.
No, I just thought Kieran's finished it, hasn't he? So I just full spoiled and went, oh, it's mad when he dies, isn't it? It was a bit disappointing, like the ending. And then Kieran was like, what? And then about 10 minutes later, I get a text going, fucking hell, I was about 2 minutes away from the ending.
Yeah.
And I was like, yep.
I'll wait the whole 24 hours to play 2 minutes.
For what it's worth, I don't want to agree for the sake of agreeing because we will get on or whatever, but that's exactly what happened to me because I completed it on a Monday night and I was like, oh, I've probably got a few missions left. And then when it was there, it switched places and you played as a ghost for 2 seconds to make the shot. Yeah. And I was like, this actually feels quite climactic. This feels quite badass. I feel like this is the end now because you're about to shoot us out. But then the other part of me is like, well, I need to kill Shepard, don't I?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. Shepard obviously turned heel, obviously, and I'm like, I can see what they're doing. They want to build it. They almost want to build it as a thing, every other pop culture thing does now, like the MCU. So that it joins together, and they even had a bit of not post-credit scene, but they had that sizzle at the end. And I'm like, I would have just liked to kill Shepard after. I thought that was going to continue on.
It felt, to me, the campaign felt like it took a long time to tell a really good in-depth story, and then there's betrayal, and there's the alone mission as Soap, and you got to survive on your own. To then the final act just being yeah, they're dead.
Yeah, both Graves and Hassan's, their deaths to me at least I felt were a bit oh, all right, I guess they're dead.
Yeah,
especially Graves. It's I liked the bit where he was in the tank and killing him, and I thought it's going to lead to a final boss battle when I actually throw this last C4 on him. Boom. Tank blows up.
Yeah, I have to drag his corpse out of the tank, and then
or he manages to escape, and then we chase him on quad bikes, and we're starting to fight, and then shoot at each other, and then eventually he, stumbles along, and he's like, "Oh, you won't kill me," and then boom, smack him in the head or something. But no, it was I threw my C4 on him, thinking that's gonna happen, and then boom, the whole thing blows up, and then they go, "Graves is dead," and I'm like, "Oh, what?"
There's no not even. I know this sounds a bit cinematic for the sake of being cinematic, but there's no bit when he's crawling out the tank and he's bloody to fucking just oh fucking whatever it's just yeah, it's blown up now, yeah. He's gonna be dead. Yeah, he's just dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Move on, come on.
Next story beat now.
I feel like he was a wasted death as well because he was a good character.
He was, yeah. To be honest, I thought he was better than Hassan, to be honest. I thought Hassan's character was just...
It seemed too generic, as too stereotypical for me.
What did you think of the mission where you're at the prison compound and you're directing through the CCTV?
I quite like that.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the pacing changed, but I also again, I know I'm very well, I just said about 4 times, but it's to back the point that you suggested is that did I love it? Did I hate it? Was it interesting? So we're talking about it now. That's probably a good thing because it's like we said as well, Ghost especially because the more they make how badass he is I know you're directing him saying you're on the camera so you got the better intelligence, you got the wider view, you got the bigger picture. But you think to yourself, if I direct a trained soldier to do that, he's not going to walk in front of him, but he just does. He just gets, I'll walk in front of both of them, no worries. And I know that's the point of the mini game.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a nice change of pace. I definitely preferred it to the AC-130 mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Even though it's the same, it's basically the same thing, it's just a different skin. Isn't it really?
The AC-130 mission, I felt like you were waiting quite a bit. You're kind of sitting there waiting for a direction. Yes, you can shoot that thing. And I know that's probably realistic, that you can't just level every building in sight. I get that. But it was oh, you have to wait for them to run to that building. Or, 10 minutes have passed and you're still waiting for them to run. I mean, it's exaggerated, but you're just sitting there come on, get to the building already, and then they go, oh no, hold fire, you can't, and you're just sitting there like, oh my god, it's just a cutscene. I'm just in a cutscene right now. I mean, that was me, but I'm quite impatient, so it's probably just me to some extent.
But I mean, I think in all fairness, I think I did enjoy the campaign, but I didn't like. I enjoyed the campaign for the cinematics. I don't know if I enjoyed it for the gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think I enjoyed it for both. I feel like we said, there was enough interesting, weird, like, I don't know, not objectives, like points of interest, but or selling points per se of each level. I quite enjoyed the boat one. Or was it the oil rig? I don't know when.
Oh yeah, the oil rig, yeah.
The way, like, the cover's moving and you can get slammed by a container.
Yeah, that's cool, yeah.
That's quite cool. I feel like they've had different weird things to work around. Like, almost like I say, not in a good way, like gimmicks. But
I really liked I think it was, was it Black Ops that brought it out? It was the money system. It was like you earn money through games and you use that money to pay for attachments to weapons.
Yeah, it was Black Ops.
That's so much better. Rather than, you've got to use this gun that's fucking dog crap that you hate for 10 hours before you can use this dog crap gun that then can unlock the gun you want. It's like, I've got this money. I don't want this gun. I'm using this gun. Oh, I hate this gun. I'll just get some more money and get another one. Like, it just makes a bit more sense to me, rather than having this crappy, you've got to do 3 blood moon sacrifices, as you say, until you can actually get, the MP5. And it's like, fucking hell, just give me the gun. I don't have 14 hours a day like a 12-year-old does.
The only problem with that system in Black Ops was that you still had to wait to unlock it through levels before you could then pay for it.
Yeah, that is true, yeah.
That was still like, well, it's either one or the other, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this COD, I think, has been very enjoyable, and I think for me, the biggest highlight for me of COD is the raids and the DMZ. Because without those, I probably wouldn't be playing this COD as much. Those 2 game modes are why I have the most fun with the boys.
Funny enough, this is like, that's why I like it, is the DMZ and like just the social aspects of playing, like having a good laugh and like having fun with games. If you liked a COD, like, even, doesn't matter whether you played 10 years ago or like you played like the last year's one, it's, I don't know, it's a good COD. It's not going to reinvent the wheel, like we say, but it's smooth, it's fun, there's a lot to do on it.
Yeah.
On our scale, I don't know, I think
I'd probably go middle.
I'll probably go middle, yeah. I feel like,
wait for discount because it's pricey. Even though you get a lot of game for the price, wait for discount, because the thing is as well, with Call of Duty games, they rarely go on discount. So when they're on a discount, grab it.
Yeah. I'd say, like, campaign, I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. And then I'd say for the multiplayer, probably 6.
It's the same multiplayer as every other multiplayer.
It is the same. It's not reinvented, like, as you say, it's not reinventing the wheel at all. But, as you say, DMZ, really good. Like, that, the actual co-op story mission, like, co-op missions, they're actually really good. And they're quite long as well. Like, you can take, like, 45 minutes doing some of them.
You can take as long as you want, just to enjoy yourself, yeah.
And I hate when there's a time limit. Like, you got 15 minutes till the bomb explodes. Like, oh, shut up. I just want to chill and do some stuff. Like,
yeah, if I don't want to stay in this corner of the map and do like some bullshit like distance readings and wind readings and really role play as a sniper, and like I'll be on the sniper hill and you run into the buildings, and if you want to play like that, you can.
Yeah, exactly. But then with the multiplayer, I think Ground War is my favorite. Ground War is just so much more fun.
But no, that's basically what I thought, really. But it's, as you say, Kieran, I kind of agree. It's a lot of bang for your buck, but it's still like 60, 70 quid. And it also depends on what you want from it.
Yeah. Most people will only play it for the multiplayer.
Yeah. And if you want that, that's probably worth the 60 quid in that sense.
Yeah, like it's the only game you play for like months. Yeah.
This is what I mean. I know a few people who literally play FIFA cards in typical, casual game, and it's like FIFA card and something else, and that's all they play. We do usually do, like, I don't know, suggestions or moment of the week.
So we could do a quick piece for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
My moment of the week, really, it hasn't happened yet because it's going to happen next week, but I am super hyped to watch The Last of Us TV show. I'm very excited to see that. I mean, I am very much trying to manage my expectations, but I am hoping. I mean, most trailers these days actually put me off things because they show too much, or they're just crap. They're downright crap. They just show all the jokes or whatever. But the trailer for The Last of Us for HBO, they seem to just absolutely hit the nail on the head. Like, they completely hit the tone of what the game is.
Yeah, whether it'll be how good the casting is, or whether it'll be the showrunners, same showrunner from Chernobyl, which is meant to be like absolutely great. Whether it'll be the tone, taking a game which you play for about 20, 30 hours and trying to rip that into an hour and a half film, that never usually works. So they're giving the story a lot more breathing room, which is a huge benefit.
Yeah.
We will definitely be doing an episode on The Last of Us. It probably will be when the entire show's over, so we can cover it a bit more in depth.
Yeah.
My thing, I don't know, the moment of the week is Happy Valley, the BBC show Happy Valley. It's a little, like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like a mom saying, like, choosing this is my pick of the week. In a good way, it doesn't know what it wants to be. It's not a crime drama.
Yeah.
But it's also, like, it's about family as well. But it's just, it's quite intense, but you end up talking about it because you think, oh, that character's a bastard, or they should do this, or have they ended up in this situation? And they think to yourself, there's like a betrayal in it as well at the end of last week's episode. And you think to yourself, why has she done that? Oh, she wouldn't do that. She loves her. And you think, oh, there's got to be more to it than that, or whatever. And also, I've seen the world's smallest phone on it. And like, he gets it smuggled into prison, and you think, oh, he must have used a bit of loot to get out there. Because how's he? But I don't know. It just, yeah, in the same question, in the same episode, you think, oh, that's a bit brutal and upsetting. And then you're also asking yourself, yeah, you probably could fit that phone up your bumhole. So yeah, it's a very different BBC drama. I'd definitely recommend it.
Quinn, what's your moment?
Something you'd suggest, or like a particular moment in the show you thought yourself stood out like?
I would say, show that me and Iona have been watching, mainly Iona, but she's roped me into it, and it's actually pretty good. It's Ginny and Georgia, but it is really, really good, and the cast they've done for it is so good.
What's like the premise?
So Ginny and Georgia is essentially, so Georgia is the mom, Ginny is the daughter, but there's also a kid called Austin, but it's mainly following Ginny and Georgia. But essentially Georgia, she has been in a lot of trouble, and she has a bad past, a bad background, but she's very much kind of lied about her entire, like, it's mild spoilers, but she's lied about her entire background, and she's given herself a new name, and she's moving to another town, a very, it's called Wellsbury. It's a very proud town, very well-to-do town, and she joins the town and kind of does a bit of scamming, a little bit of kind of ruffling feathers a little bit there, and she's a very beautiful woman. Like, the person who plays Georgia is like very, very attractive. And everyone loves her. All the guys swoon over her. And it's essentially their journey and kind of shenanigans that go on and issues that happen between people in the town that figure out who Georgia is. Ginny doesn't know much about her mom either, so she finds out what her mom's done. Austin, who's the little boy, finds out things, and there's other men involved because Ginny is of a different father. Austin's a different father. Like, there's a lot going on in terms of family drama, but it is a really, really good show. There's a lot of like kind of lying, deceit, and that kind of stuff into it. So it is quite cool. But it is really, really good. I definitely recommend watching it.
Well, there we have it.
That was our episode. But no, thank you for listening as always. Thank you for coming on, Quinn, as our special guest.
Yes, Quinn, thank you for joining us in this episode and giving us your wealth of knowledge of Call of Duty for all those years gone. Very welcome.
But yeah, thank you. Please like, subscribe and all that. But thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for listening. I guess we'll catch you in the next one.
Look after yourselves. See you later.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.